Thinking about leaving your soul-sucking 9 to 5 job, one of the biggest struggles I see people, especially as women, face is the idea of having that safety net, that enticing perks and benefits, and listening to that head trash of what will people think if I leave. I totally get it, and I've been where you are. That's why I created a free guide to help you if you're thinking about putting in that notice. It's called Unlocking Your Exit Plan. Discover 5 things you need to do before leaving your 9 to 5. This guide is filled with worksheets and steps so you will have hand holding along the way. You can download your copy in the link in the show notes, and again, it's totally free. Now back to today's episode. Hey there, let me guess. You want to start a podcast but don't have the time. I understand. Or you want to start a podcast but scared of the tech. I get it. Or you want to get started but don't know where to start. I hear you. Well, you're in luck, my friend, because I have a free Jumpstart Your Podcast guide that gives you a list of all the free tools I recommend. Plus, this helps you to organize your show notes, plan your episodes, plan those days you want to record for batching your content, and you get a checklist to make sure you check off all that is needed to get going and get started with podcasting. So, what are you waiting for? Download the guide now and get started so your message can be heard. Just click the link in the show notes. I cannot wait to hear your first episode. Hey there, let's face it, today's internet world is so saturated and everyone is fighting for that #1 spot to be visible. It is no longer about running ads and having thousands of people on your email list. It is about building relationships and networking with others to grow your business and become visible. Hi, my name is Candace. I'm a podcast launch strategist and I help service-based business owners develop and deliver their message to the world by using platforms like podcasting and bringing valuable content to those who need to hear what they have to say. Welcome to the Hello C.S. Dorsey podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Hello C.S. Dorsey podcast. I have Pauline Malubay here. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Saying hi from the UK.
Yay! So could you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
So I am a digital business strategist, and essentially I help people grow their business, scale their business online. And I primarily help out mompreneurs who are choosing to own their life and wanting to build their empire while raising their kids. So that's my zone of genius.
I love it, and that's very niche, like niche specific. Can't even get it out.
Yeah,
that's really good. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the details, how do you essentially market your business? Do you market it into Facebook groups, or is it more of a word of mouth?
Yeah, I tend to do a few different channels. So I use Instagram. So I got my first client on Instagram actually. And she just slid into my DMs and it was just really great. I didn't even have to try very hard. It was great. And then sometimes applying to Facebook groups as well, mingling around in Facebook groups. I also have my own podcast, which allows me to meet high caliber entrepreneurs and do some networking. And if they like my vibe, they refer me as well to other people, my ideal clients. Also mingle on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is one of those platforms that I'm really hoping to move towards and focus more come 2021. I think it's a really great platform that's often untapped by online entrepreneurs because it's always seen as a bit more of a professional corporate platform, but it's definitely something that I think a lot of people should really leverage upon LinkedIn.
Yeah, I agree completely because the thing about LinkedIn is I have everybody that is on my LinkedIn profile that I work with now, my 9 to 5. And so I'm like a little scared to post about my podcast and I'm like trying to do what I'm trying to do.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. I actually just recently bought a course on LinkedIn by LinkedIn Marketer because I think LinkedIn is just taking off so much ever since the pandemic. It's not just like a recruiter site because I was the same. I was very hesitant. I had a lot of lawyers, bankers, tech people on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, well, I'm doing a completely different startup route. Oh, I just said that in American pronunciation. We say route in the UK. So yeah, it's definitely a mind thing, LinkedIn. But yeah, I'm hoping that's like my goal in 2021 to just get over that visibility fear of corporate people.
So let's talk about the inspiration behind your business. What was it like for you?
Yeah, so I was working in an agency before in a corporate environment, and I was a user experience strategist. So I knew all things digital and worked with designers and engineers and project managers, and I was helping different companies, grow their business online. And I realized that I wanted to go traveling. I wanted to pretty much have the freedom lifestyle. I wanted to work from my laptop and anywhere in the world. That's basically why I decided to just venture out by myself. And I've always been very passionate about mompreneurs, purely because when I was younger, my parents and my mom was very busy working, and I was childcare wise, I was taking care of my grandma. And as a child, you don't really understand that, like being left behind because your parents have to go work and stuff like that. So I've become very passionate about helping women entrepreneurs to basically have both grow their business, do their zone of genius, help other people, whatever it may be that their zone of genius is, but also be there for their children and be there for their family and not have to go to the office. Or in my mom's case, she worked in a hospital, so be in the hospital kind of thing. So that's like the value behind my business and why I decided to niche down on women mompreneurs. Yeah, boss moms, as I like to call them.
That's really good. Oh, that would have been wonderful for my mom when she was a single parent and she was raising me,
Mm.
and I could call her, she was the ultimate hustler because she worked a full-time job, she raised me, and she was going to school to get her degree. I was
Did she
like,
sleep?
she a little bit, it worked out.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, you can do a lot of those things, but you definitely have to have a tribe behind you. And one of the things that my
Mm.
mom had was that support system. My grandmother, she was
Yeah.
there. So, and a lot of my family members, they was around. So it was like she just went off to school after she got off work, and then she didn't have to worry about, oh, who's gonna take care of me. I was pretty much at the house, and my grandmother was too. I'm all for empowering women, especially single moms, to have their own business and to have their own, not necessarily business, but have their own thing going on. I love that so much. So can you remember a time in your business where you had a hello moment, whether it be starting out or you actually started your business, in between your business, you was like, oh, hello, duh, like a light bulb moment?
So many things. Honestly, the road to entrepreneurship is so interesting. And I think for me, one of the things that I realize, and it's been told to me before, but it's one of those things where you have to live through it and have the lived experience to fully realize it. And that's the mindset game. Everything is mindset. And I remembered when I was in school, I had a friend who was very successful. Like he's met the Queen of England. That's how successful he was. Yeah. And he's younger than me. And we were in awe of him, all of us. I was doing an internship with him, and we were in awe because he had his own startup. He was doing a chemical engineering degree. And I'm just like, oh my God, who is this? Who is this boy? And I remember talking to him about entrepreneurship, and I said, oh, so what is it? What does it take to be like an entrepreneur? And he said, everything is a mindset game. You get your mindset, you're good. Like you will win in the end, whatever it is that you do. And I never really got that. And surely you need to know technical skills. Surely you need to know this and this and this. Surely you need to know you need to have investment. Surely you need to know people, all these things. And then now I'm in the thick of the building my own business and helping other people build their own business. I get it. It's literally my hello moment. I'm going to a point where I need to really work on my mindset every day, like actively. And the days where I let it fall and I don't do meditation, I don't go for my walks, I don't journal, I don't do planning, I don't talk to my team, I don't ask for help, I don't delegate, like anything like that, or I don't work on my mindset at all, that's when my mental health starts to suffer. That's when I let things slip through. That's when strategy goes. And yeah, so that's pretty much my hello moment, that like mindset is key. And you really need to take the time as an entrepreneur to really look inward and develop what I like to think like your CEO time. Loads of people say CEO dates. I'm a big fan of Rachel Cook. She's got like the CEO 90-day planner thing. And that's what I think that really helps with the mindset, that mindset of you need that time. You need time to take care of yourself and to plan accordingly. Because if you don't, things start falling through the cracks. And before you know it, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed. And yeah, your mental health really starts to suffer. So that's like my big hello moment that's happened to me quite recently.
That's really good. And a lot of people, it's so funny you mentioned that just take that time, that self-care for you to get your mind together. And it does help like to refresh, because once you are in a place where you can go and things are just clear, like no social media, no none of that, and you're just like hone in and relaxing and taking care of you, then those brilliant ideas that I always say, or planning world domination. That's I told my mom,
Yeah.
planning world domination, leave me alone. Um,
I love it.
when those ideas start to come. But a lot of people think, or a lot of people out there say that your mindset is the belief that you have in yourself and that you
Yeah.
can actually do it. So I love that you state that your mindset is more of taking that self-care, that time to
Yeah.
uh, get your thoughts together. And I really think that is important. And then you can then believe that you can do it and then go out and do it. So I
Yeah.
like that perspective. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so thankful that my friend told me that quite early on before I even started my own business. I never really got it because I feel like some things, some lessons in life, you just have to live through and experience to really learn it. So that's definitely the number one thing. And yeah, it's difficult though. Sometimes it really does. I really have to take the time to be like, no, you gotta go on your walk. Like you gotta go out in nature and just think and just chill.
Yes.
Really force yourself. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes don't, they just think it has to be go all the time or else they feel guilty. But actually, by not taking the time to rest and calm yourself, calm your mind, and be a cheerleader for yourself, which does take time, you're doing yourself such a huge detriment. And I think it's one of those things that I, even now with my, with my teammates or part my team members, I just tell them like, okay, if life happens and you need to take a pause, let me know ASAP, and then we can always move deadlines around. I'd rather that you take care of yourself rather than suffer mentally and then do a half a crappy job essentially. So I think it's one of those things that you also need to show it to others. You also need to tell others that they need to look after their mindset. You have to lead by example as a business owner.
That's right. That is so true. I love that so much. I really need to take heed to what you're saying because I have really been on the go. It's so funny because I this past 3 days I wasn't feeling well, and I work a 9 to 5 as well too. And then I'm trying to get an
Mm,
event together, and then I'm trying to do my podcast, and
yeah.
my body was just like, we're just gonna act like we have something going on so you can force and get some rest. And that was one of the things I had to do. I had to keep taking a half day off my job because
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not feeling well, I'm sick. But once I laid down and took like a little cat nap, I always do. After that, and then got the sleep for the remainder of the night, I woke up and I was feeling so much better, and I was
Yeah.
rejuvenated, and I was thinking. And it definitely it's a true testament to say, yes, you do need to have those days where you just need to, if you
Yeah.
want to lay in the bed, hey, no one is going to say anything about that, because what good
Yeah.
is it if you're dead?
Exactly. Gary V, I love Gary V, but sometimes his full hustling mentality. Just take a nap. Take a nap. It's all
Yes,
good. Lay down your burdens and rest,
that's
kind
right.
of thing. And wake up and you're rejuvenated. Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes we get that guilt as entrepreneurs, like if we rest, like the world will burn down, our business will burn down. But no, it's fine. Take that hour and just nap. It's all good. Yeah, yeah. I definitely take my fair share of naps.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, just let it burn. They're gonna call the what do you call the ambulance? Not the ambulance, but they're gonna call the fire trucks. It'll be put out
Farman. Yeah.
eventually. Just let it burn. Do you offer multiple services in your business, or do you find that having one service actually helps with your just like your zone of genius?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the person. It's a personal preference. I know you mentioned offline now that if someone is multi-talented, then yeah, market yourself as a multi-talented person. I'm also a massive fan of Marie Forleo and just always talking about being a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And I'm definitely one of those. I've always been a bit like crazy in the sense that I could never choose a place to settle in. And I think it just really depends. If you, for example, I help with really busy moms who need someone who's a jack of all trades. So I offer multiple services. I market myself as having multiple services. But at first, I niched down straight away. I actually started off as a podcasting VA. So I help with podcast launches, I help with managing podcasts. And then I realized, and as I got more confident in the digital world, that I could bring in my tech background, my project management background, my digital marketing background, and offer more OBM services, project management, team management, user experience work. And so it just evolved quite naturally. So I always like to think that you can always do it in stages. If you feel that you want to niche down straight away, I think people have this notion that, oh, I got to offer everything and then I can niche down. But I actually did the complete opposite. I niche down, then I don't remember what the word is for not niching down. But yeah, so I think you can definitely do it in stages. And I think it's giving yourself the freedom to evolve your services, evolve your brand. I've gone through, this is my first year of business and I've rebranded twice already. So good. Give yourself the freedom. I don't think that's the whole point of leaving corporate, I think, and having your own thing, or not even leaving corporate fully, having your own thing. You can do whatever you want. If you want to hire an all female team, hire an all female team. If you want to hire an all woman of color team, hire an all woman of color team. If you want to be the only woman in your team, go for it. No one, it's your business. So you should have that freedom.
Yes, I agree. And you don't have to worry about like the bureaucracy of everything and the office politics and all of that. You could do generally whatever you want to do within ethical.
Yeah, within ethical reasons. That's a given. Yeah, pay your taxes, guys. Pay your taxes.
But yeah, I completely agree. And I love the whole entrepreneur space. And like myself, I started off as I'm still a jack of all trades. Like I do book publishing, help authors with their books. And it's so funny because that comes back to haunt me. And I keep trying to say, no, I don't do that no more. But then when I'm like, okay, let's just go ahead and do it. You never know what's going to happen with this. But it's so funny. I offer a podcast launch strategy and for entrepreneurs and coaches and everything. But then I find out that people are coming to me for other things. And I'm like, I really haven't honed in on my skills on that, but hey, let's just go ahead and do it. You know?
Yeah. Lots of people ask me for PR management, and I'm like, I'm not a PR manager, but I'll ask my PR manager for help. I know some people.
Yeah.
And then and it's so nice because you can refer people, you can refer your friends who are also entrepreneurs. I have an internship program in my business where I help aspiring VAs and also like moms who are in maternity leave, who are training to be a VA so they can stay with their kids. They go through my internship program and they learn the skills, they work on my brand. And then sometimes the people that I meet in my podcast, they're looking for people. I have a PR manager who is just coming out of maternity. So she's retraining to be a VA. And I literally told her, pitch to my past podcast guests so you can be their PR manager. And it just works. It's like this beautiful circle of giving and receiving and helping other entrepreneurs, which is everything that I stand for.
Yeah, I completely agree 100%. And it's so funny because you do your podcast and you don't realize what's happening behind the scenes. But I realized that people were listening to my podcast and then they were reaching out to the guests on my podcast. And I know nothing about it. And then someone was, they found me on your podcast. I was like, oh, somebody's listening. That's great.
It's so good, isn't it? I love podcasts because when was the last time you spoke to 100 people? And people are like, but only 100 people listen to my podcast. And I'm like, when was the last time you spoke to 100 people? It's an amazing platform. I absolutely love podcasting.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yes. So any last minute advice you have for our listeners out there?
It's so cringy, but it's so true. And that's do it anyway, whatever it is. Like feel the fear and do it anyway. It's so cringy. But every time I'm about to do something that I really don't want to do because I'm scared, I just say it over and over again as a mantra. Because at the end of the day, if it fails and it's not really a failure, it's like you just do version 2.0. And if it goes well, then, oh my goodness, it goes well. So yeah, it's one of those things that it's taken me a long time to get over. And it's taken me a whole pandemic to start my own business and venture out. But once I did, it's like, oh my goodness, why didn't I do this when I was still like ASAP, when I was still a teenager? So yeah, feel the fear and do it anyway.
I love it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I have captured these moments.
Good.
Also,
It's so cringy, but it's gotta embrace it.
no, it's okay because it's those words, those simple words that we hear often, but it's like, do we actually hear them? We hear them go over our head, but do we hear them? And is it sticking with us? I love it. I love it so much. So where can everyone find you?
So I'm on Instagram at Help Me Pauline. The rallying cry of most of my CEO clients, like, help me Pauline, please help me do this. So I'm at Help Me Pauline and facebook.com/Help Me Pauline. I have a podcast called How She Owns It. We need to get you there as well if you want. come on my show. And it's basically about we interview female CEOs and how they're owning their life with their businesses. So I'm also on How She Owns It. That's on all different platforms, Apple, Spotify, Anchor, all the things. It's also on YouTube. And I'm on LinkedIn at Pauline Malubay. Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to link those up to the show notes. Pauline, I'm so happy you came on the show today.
Same. Thank you so much.
Hey, did you like this episode? And don't forget to subscribe and share. And also drop me a line or two. I will love to hear your feedback in the review. Thank you.